Hi guys, welcome back to 100% Mags. So defending champions under the lights, 90 minutes or penalties, one step away from the semi-finals. This is Cup football at St James's Park. Wednesday night sees Newcastle United, of course, take on Fulham with a firm eye on that semi-final and the chance to get one step closer to Wembley once again, just like we're seeing in March, where we took on Liverpool in the final down at Wembley. We won the Carabao Cup for the first time in our history and finally ended a trophy drought that had been around the club for 70 years, 56 years, if you want to count, of course, the Intercities Fairs Cup. But we're going to this one as the Carabao Cup champions, taking on Marco Silva's side at St James's Park, and it's knockout football under the lights. No replays, no second chances, and it's an 8:15 kickoff. It's going to be live on ITV1 and Sky Sports, and Eddie will be targeting that League Cup semi-final for the fourth time in 4 seasons. This is where the cup run starts to get very serious. Looking at the context going into this, of course, we are the defending Carabao Cup champions, so all of the pressure is on us, of course, going into this one. Fulham are pretty much coming into this one with a free hit. Everybody's going to be looking at us to be the ones to perform. Of course, fourth consecutive League Cup quarter-final under Eddie as well. We've seen some brilliant games under Eddie in the Carabao Cup. We seem to do really, really well in this competition. Obviously, of course, winning it in March, of course, of this year for last season's Carabao Cup final. And Fulham returned to St James's after losing 2-1 in the Premier League here earlier in the season. The winner, of course, goes straight into the semi-finals. It's a penalties if level after 90 minutes. And, of course, Fulham have a travelling support of 1,700 fans travelling up to Tyneside for this game. So this is, of course, going to be a very interesting game. And it's under the lights. It's another game where a lot of people will find it very difficult. And I'm sure Fulham will find it very difficult to play with, as everybody does when they come to St James's Park under the lights. It is a very tough atmosphere to take and to try and do something in. And hopefully it is a similar format once again, with us, of course, hopefully coming out as the winners. But team news going into this, of course, on the Fulham side of things, and we'll talk about, of course, ourselves, Newcastle United. But on the Fulham side of things, Ryan Sessegnon and Rodrigo Muniz are unavailable for Marco Silva. And of course, on our side of the team news going into this one, on Wednesday night, it's going to be Kieran Trippier, Sven Botman and William Osula and Emil Kraft remaining sidelined. Dan Burn is now added to that injury list after the derby, of course, the Weir Tyne derby, which happened yesterday. You heard me thoughts on that. If you haven't, then go back and check out the match reaction I did after the game yesterday. Absolutely disappointed that we'll come away from that one on the end of a loss, and especially the way it ended up happening as well, with an own goal by Voltemade. Very unlucky by Voltemade to have scored an own goal, but you know, the lad hopefully will bounce back strong from that situation. Dan Burn is ruled out, of course, after suffering rib damage in the derby. That was, of course, the 2 knees to the chest, which I, of course, covered in my reaction as well, so you can go hear my thoughts on that one. But, you know, he's not going to be available for the game on Wednesday because of that. He's going to be out now for a few weeks. He's broke a few ribs. So that means he is going to be out for a few weeks. I think 2 to 3 weeks it is that Dan Burn's going to be out for. But the squad depth is tested, and the mentality is the key going into this one. We've got to go in with the right mindset for this game, which is going to be a little bit difficult, of course, coming off the back of a loss, whilst Fulham come into this one with a bit extra rest, of course, and coming into this one in a confident mood after winning 3-2 against Burnley. And, of course, They reached this stage via wins over Bristol City, Cambridge United, before edging past Wycombe Wanderers on penalties. So Marco Silva's side will believe. But St James's Park under the lights, as I have said, is a difficult challenge altogether. Looking at the cup pedigree, this is the 13th League Cup quarter-final that we have been in. Eddie has reached the last 8 every season since taking charge. The previous, of course, quarter-finals under Eddie are, of course, a win against Leicester in the 22-23 season, which team will go all the way to the final and lose, of course, to Man United. Then the 23-24 season were lost on penalties to Chelsea, which, of course, seen Chelsea going to the final against Liverpool and, of course, lose to Van Dijk header. And then the 24-25 season, of course, seen would beat Brentford in the quarters to make it all the way through, where, of course, we ended up winning the Carabao Cup for the first time in our history, and of course, as said at the top of the video, ended our trophy drought that had been around the club for 70 years, 56 domestically. This competition matters, this moment matters, and we need to bounce back quick from that game against the Mackhams yesterday. What can we expect going into it? Well, St James's Park, full in voice, aggressive Newcastle press, hopefully. And of course, Fulham will be compact and looking to counter. That's probably going to be their style of play going into the game. I'd expect to see, Marco Silva probably sit deep and try to hit one on a counter. That's what we've been seeing a lot of teams doing. I think Fulham did it at St James's earlier in the season when they lost 2-1 to it. So maybe there might be a little bit change there. Who knows? But we'll wait and see, of course, when it gets time for the match on Wednesday. But fine margins, big moments in the cup tension. It's going to be a game to, watch for even the neutrals, not just us Newcastle or Fulham fans. One step closer to Wembley as well is a huge thing to keep our eye on. But we do have to keep our eye on the game as well. We've got to get the result. We've got to go in there and be willing to put in the effort, which I think, under the lights, as I've said, it's very difficult to play with there. It's St James's Park, and a lot of teams find that a hard situation to deal with. Hopefully it is the same once again, and we can see ourselves make it into the semi-finals and then be one step closer to, of course, the final at Wembley. But looking at the teams that are still remaining in the competition, I mean, we've got some teams in there that would be enjoyable to play. You've got Cardiff going up against Chelsea on Tuesday, tomorrow, of course. You've got Man City going up against Brentford, of course, on Wednesday night. And then you've got Arsenal going up against Palace. I mean, there's some interesting ones in there that I would love to see with at least have a go against. It would be nice to maybe see, if Cardiff could beat Chelsea. That would be a really good giant killing right there to knock Chelsea out of the competition. Man City, of course, it would be nice to see Brentford win over Man City and Palace obviously to win over Arsenal, but we'll have to wait and see, what happens on that one. But let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And of course, as always, make sure to hit that bell, hit that like button, and turn on all notifications and subscribe to the channel because we will, of course, as always, be reacting to the game after the match on Wednesday night and giving you my thoughts, of course, on the game on the channel. Till next time, I'll see you all for the next one, and how are the lads?